What is going on, Skull family? I'm Kyle,
I'm Darin
and this is the Purple Dupes with
with
Hopes
Hopes Podcast.
podcast. Darin, we got some bummer news, man. The streak is over.
Streak's over.
The
Can't
streak is
believe it.
over. The
Yep,
Purple Dope streak is over. We ended at 1 with the Vikings, but that's all right because we all know it's preseason, right?
exactly. Let's lose them now. None in the regular season, right?
Well, yeah, we're going to start it in the regular season, Purple Dopers, so don't you worry about that. So make sure you guys are following along all Vikings season for all our weird Vikings takes, average Joe takes of the boys in purple. You can follow us on all of the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, as well as Amazon. As well, if you are one of our YouTube subscribers, please make sure you drop us a comment where you're from, as well as if you're just jumping into YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We always enjoy that. But
Love it.
and review the podcast, guys. If you are on
Absolutely.
the podcast platforms, we would appreciate a review on there. So make sure to write what you think. If you are one of our Purple Dopers that are just joining us, or you've been with us all 6, 7 episodes that we've been doing this now, please make sure to drop us a review. So, Darin, man, we are a little bit sad because our skull mojo of the Purple Dopers podcast has failed us a little bit because the Vikings fell 20-12 against the Patriots this past weekend, Saturday. What do you think of the game, man? I mean, overall, just kind of what do you think? How'd you feel?
Yeah, I mean, we can start with the game. It was sloppy. I mean, I think anyone who watched it would admit that. Looked like Sam Howell regressed. I think he had the first few series. He didn't look good at all. He had that pick. I think he was trying to throw it out of bounds,
Agree.
but just didn't put enough on it. I'm not gonna hate on him too much. I think he was trying to make the right play, just didn't put enough on the ball. But even without that, he didn't look great. Rippin, I think, came in, looked slightly better than Howell. And then Brosmer again, I'm not trying to just be a Minnesota homer here, but I thought he looked the best of the bunch. He had that pick on the last play of the game. I'm gonna say this. I got a homer take. You didn't see it?
No, I saw it. I don't think you can blame him for that final pick. He was
No, I mean you got to put it in the end zone. Really, the play before that, I can't remember the running back, but probably should have had the catch. He put it in perfect spot. The guy just dropped it. So again, I thought Max played great. That last play, so they catch it, they pick it off. The guy doesn't go down right away. I think it was a fumble.
I agree.
I do.
I agree.
I think Vrabel had already left the field. KOC was shaking hands. I don't think they cared. Like, no one wants to play an extra play in preseason where someone could get hurt. I get it. So, Grant, I think if that would have been a game where it meant a little bit more, I think we would have had a chance to steal it. So,
for sure.
But I think there's some positives. Oh man, and I'm drawing a blank on the guy, but he had the punt return in the third quarter.
Miles Price.
I
have a note on there.
Oh man, looked good catching the punts, and then that kickoff. I was listening to local, play-by-play Paul Allen, listening to a show a little bit this morning, and they were talking about Miles Price and his post-game interview and how he was joking how he had stopped doing his gassers at practice, so he had to get back on that. So I thought that was pretty funny. But so I thought that was a bright spot in the team. That's certainly a gap that we're looking to fill right now. Punt return, kick return.
Yes.
I thought Ty Felton, still might be the guy, but he had that fumble on the kickoff.
Agree.
Hate seeing that. But that gets back to what I said around the sloppiness. I just didn't think the game itself was played all that well.
I want to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Dude, your boy, Max Brosmer, what is going on, man? Are we going to get him as the QB2 this year? I mean, I got the numbers here, 15-27, 156 yards. He did have that pick at the end of the game, but I'm not blaming him because he needed to put the ball in the end zone. Sam Howell goes 1 of 5 for 13 yards and throws that weird interception. I agree. I think he was trying to throw it out of bounds. But do we have a battle right now for that QB2 spot coming into the season?
I really don't.
Okay.
I think there's a battle for QB3
QB3.
between
Okay.
him and Rippon. I think the reality of the backup quarterback, though, one, I love what Brosmer's putting on film right now, but he's young, he's inexperienced.
Yeah.
The backup quarterback needs to be ready to come in and play.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's quite there. And meanwhile, you got Sam Howell. Does he look great right now? No, but he's done it.
And he's
He's thrown
experienced.
for. I think he's had a year where he threw for 4,000 yards. Like
Yeah.
he can sling it. I mean, he reminds me more of like the Mullins, right? Where
Yeah.
I think could Sam Howell be a starter? Maybe, but he's probably a career backup here the rest of his career.
For sure.
Might get a chance, but again, I think I'd feel more confident right now with him coming in a situation where maybe there's a second half injury or who knows.
Yeah.
Again,
Fair
do I
enough.
want Sam Howell leading our team the full season? Definitely not.
Yeah. Might be more exciting if
He gives
Brosmer's
us
back there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So
Uh,
I'd still go Sam Howell, just really just based on history, not recent history. I'd
yeah.
still go Sam Howell at this point.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think right now, as far as the Vikings go, we're really looking at those third spots when it comes to our offense.
Yeah,
I think the QB1, QB2, Sam Howell. Hopefully, he's not coming in at any point to lead the charge, but
exactly.
he's probably going to be there.
Yeah,
Jones and Mason, and that's one thing I do want to talk to you about this on this podcast here is we got Jones and we got Mason, and then we got that
yeah,
running back 3 spot.
yeah,
And a guy on X that I saw this morning, great Vikings account, Jason Harmon, he put these numbers out. Xavier Scott, 17 carries, 68 yards, 123 yards from scrimmage.
yep.
Ty Chandler, 8 carries, 17 yards, 37 yards from scrimmage. Are we seeing that Ty Chandler could be moving to a practice squad, possibly not making the cut based on how Xavier Scott has been performing?
I think he's the odd man out.
Yeah.
I don't know what would have to happen in the third game for that to change, but it really seems like Ty Chandler is going to be the odd man out.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it before. There's something with him and this coaching staff where it's just not jiving. I mean, he's
Yeah.
clearly an athlete, but I think you're right. I think it's Xavier Scott. It's his job to lose. And again, I don't even know what would have to happen this week for that to change. But it seems like Ty Chandler will likely get cut. I doubt he'd make it through to the practice squad, so he'll probably sign on somewhere else, and good luck to him because
Yeah.
I think he's got potential, but yeah, I think Xavier Scott looks to be the man here for the Vikes and RB3.
Yeah, and I mean, third quarter, KOC was on with Paul Allen the entire time, and the way he was talking about Xavier Scott, I mean, it just seems like he is very much a fan of the way he plays, his style,
Yep,
and I mean, he's a versatile back. He runs super hard, which we've talked about, but he also can run that screen very, very
catch
well
the
and had
ball.
some
Yeah, because
success.
he's former wideout, right?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
And
converted wideout. So yeah, I like the potential he has in the screen game as well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
And so I just think KOC seems pretty high on him. He's a younger guy, he's a younger back, which we know in the NFL today. Younger running backs are the ones you want because they're cheap, they're healthy, they're
yeah, yeah.
athletic. They bounce back a little bit quicker than the older guys. Jack Henry, who's just on another
So
level.
watching the game on Saturday, you were able to get the Vikings broadcast with Paul Allen, and
Yeah,
then is that
it was
okay?
Paul Allen and the Vikings team there. I'm not
Nice.
sure who the third guy was, but it was
Would have
Paul Allen.
been Paul Allen, Pete Bursich, and then Ben Lieber joins them in the
Yeah.
preseason games. Former linebacker for the
Yes,
Vikings.
exactly,
Yeah.
because he was bringing in a lot of the defense, which I thought was interesting. Just kind of an observation for me. The Patriots came out first 2 series. Basically, their starting lineup was out on the field.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. So that's where I'm a little bit more encouraged when you look back to the joint practices last week. It sounds like JJ McCarthy absolutely shredded
Yeah, I
the
mean,
New England defense. Like just
everything
kicked their
that I
ass up and
read,
down the field.
everything that I read and
Yeah.
saw was he shined. I mean,
Yeah.
outshined. May basically destroyed the Patriots secondary there.
Went
So
13 of 13 at one
yeah,
point. Oh, I mean, yeah, sounds like Vrabel was pretty pissed, and that's
yeah,
why I think he told his starters, like, look, you're playing. So,
yeah,
um, and our second string D went out and they stopped him on the first drive, 3 and out. So
yeah.
I was encouraged by that. Then they put a drive together, scored a touchdown. But again, you're going ones versus twos. I thought that was pretty good to get a 3 and out to start the game there.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was 4 of 5 starting offensive guys.
yep.
you had obviously their starting quarterback for the year out there playing, as well as starting wideouts. And the Vikings' second and third guys didn't look like they were being pushed around. Actually, it looked like in that first series, they were getting pushed at the line. So I don't know if that was a little bit of the Patriots being a little bitter because they were having to, play more series than they expected. But I was definitely encouraged. I thought in that second series, you could definitely see the secondary was getting a little bit holy, if you will. There were some holes out there, and Matt Collins, found a catch on the sidelines for a big gain as Drake May got outside, but I wasn't disappointed in that. I almost expected that in the first series, but the fact that it took to the second series, I don't know. I think it's something to be excited about a little bit. And maybe
as I was watching,
little disappointing on the Patriots side that you're.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure Vrabel was gonna keep his starters in until they scored.
Yeah, agree.
Whether it would have been 2 drives or 6, I think he was playing until they scored. So, I was encouraged to get a stop with our twos, and I thought, again, I think our ones across the board are pretty much solidified. So it's really talking these 2s and 3s, kind of what's the final roster going to look like. So, again, good on those guys for getting some push and looking good versus the ones.
Yeah. Well, I did want to bring up and just circle back to that comment you made about the kick return game. I mean, Miles Price comes in there. I mean, looks great. He's great. I mean, you actually in the third quarter, KOC was saying, if he can get the outside on a punt, if he can make the first man miss, it could be trouble. And boom, it was like he called it, because the very next play there was a punt return, makes the first guy miss. I think it was a 17-yard punt return. I mean, he may be a guy, especially with losing Rondell Moore. He might be a guy to think about, putting back there, especially in the first couple of games when we're going to need Ty Felton probably to step up a little more at wide receiver.
Well, that's why I wonder if he might be a guy early in the season that we keep and maybe try to push to the practice squad once you get Addison back. Again, what I look for in a punt returner, I'm less concerned about kickoffs. With the rules, what they are, you're going to be starting anywhere from the 25 to 35 anyway, so I'm not overly concerned. Punt returns, catch the ball. That's first and foremost, just catch it. Again, we've had Brandon Powell the last couple of years. He was great. He went out that one series against the Packers. They put Naylor back there. He misses it. Just catch it. I don't oh man. Yes. So let's be consistent there. And I think again, there's an open roster spot. So we'll see.
And then our boy Will the Thrill goes out.
Oh man, still perfect.
4 for 4. I mean, I can't say I don't. I mean, I love touchdowns. They're great. But in the preseason, I really like seeing all areas getting dialed in.
For sure.
And he is looking really confident. I think 250s.
Yep.
I mean, and perfect. I mean, right down the middle. It was no doubt about it.
It's right where it needs to be. So, hopefully more than anything, it's building his confidence going into the regular season, because he started the year out amazing. And even he had a few struggles down the stretch, but I still thought for the most part he had a great rookie year.
Definitely agree.
Let's just keep building on that. And, he's got the big leg. And so it's great to see him, kind of find it.
Yeah. Definitely, and he just seems like a genuine person that you want to see do well, especially as a Vikings kicker. There's a lot of pressure that comes in on your shoulders. The ghost of
carrying some baggage of kickers past.
So the fact that he's going out there kicking with confidence, I'm happy with. So,
what'd you think of? Last week they had Jefferson on. This week it's KOC. I thought it was just amazing. Hearing KOC on the mic. And even he's coaching while he's talking, he's talking to was it Tim Jones or I forget who. Brosmer overthrew him. It looked like a really good ball, actually.
It was, that was Jones,
And I thought it looked like the receiver kind of slowed up, couldn't really see the ball, and so he's told him you got to find it. I mean, I just. Really, really like just seeing anything he brings to the table, because it seems like he's just such an amazing coach.
Absolutely. It was fun to see him get a little fired up. You could tell it was right after that throw, I think. There was a penalty maybe, then a sack. And he was just kind of like, yeah, these are some things we're going to have to talk about after the game. And you're like, oh
Yep.
man, like you could tell
Right.
he's got a little coach's hat on right there, a little fired
Oh,
up.
100%. Yeah.
But talking through what he was wanting Max to see out there, then he's actually telling the plays of what was coming next. We're going to try to run that little screen here.
Yep.
It was really nice to hear the coach's perspective, but then also, like you said, to see him coaching the same time as he's talking. I mean, it was just the guy's just a great guy. I can't say enough good things about KOC. So
reigning coach of the year, man. He's he's got the goods. Lucky to have for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're talking about the year, so we're going to move on to our NFC North here. And I wanted us to do a little thing this week where we have a floor and a ceiling. We're going to walk through the 4 different teams in the NFC North. And all I want to hear is maybe a little bit of commentary, but really what's the least amount of wins you got them at and what's the most amount of wins you got them at. And we're going to start with the team we're playing against the first week, and that is the Chicago Bears. So what do you think? Floor wins and ceiling wins for the Chicago Bears?
I mean, this is kind of tough across the board because I think of any division in football, this would be the toughest one to pick. Who's going to be the best? Who's going to be the worst?
Yeah.
I think the Bears, in my opinion, are still in prove-it mode. They got Ben Johnson as a coach, offensive genius. Kind of excited to see what he can do with the pieces they got because there's obviously talent on offense.
Yeah.
I think their defense is better. I still put their floor probably around like 5-12, 6-11.
Yeah.
Mainly because we're playing the NFC East. We got Philly, Dallas, who, I think Dallas will be better than, assuming they can work things out with Micah Parsons.
Let's hope.
So I think Dallas, NFC East will be, somewhat tough. Giants might be the only one that's kind of a gimme.
Yeah.
Obviously the North is going to be tough. So I think that the Bears are going to struggle against the tougher teams, and they might end up, might take another season, assuming Caleb Williams is the guy for them to get there. So at the floor, let's go 5-12.
Okay.
On the high side, I'm gonna go 10-7. I mean, I think they could be a 10-win team if they can put things together on offense. If Caleb Williams, progresses in year 2. Again, I'm not going to put them at 11 or 12 wins just because I think that they do have a tougher schedule, and I think they're going to have another year before they're really kind of rolling. So let's go. We'll go 5-12, 10-7.
Yeah. So we're close. I think, as I look at free agency outside of the Vikings, I think the Bears did the most this season. So I got them at a floor of 6 wins. Just because I'm still not sure 100% on Caleb Williams. Things I've been hearing out of Bears training camp is he's not having the most successful training camp. So I got him at 6, and I got him at a ceiling of 9. I think they could get hot there, especially in some of those midseason games. So I got him 6 wins to 9 wins or somewhere in between there. But the Bears are going to bear, so you never know what's going to happen in the end when it comes to the Bears.
The Bears still suck, is what I like to say.
All right, well, let's move over to that other team that plays in Wisconsin that we don't really like to give too much airtime to, but the Green Bay Packers. What are your thoughts on them when it comes to the floor and the ceiling for the Packers this season?
Dude, this is the hardest one because I unlike so many people, am not bought in on the Packers. Like they get so much love nationally, and I just don't quite get it. Like I know they had a couple seasons ago, they beat the Cowboys in Dallas in the playoffs, and Jordan Love looked great the last half of the season, but that's been like the only stretch where I thought he's consistently looked great. I thought he was super inconsistent all of last year. I know he had that injury to start the year. I'm just not bought in.
Yeah.
So that being said, I do think they have a talented roster. I'm going to put their floor probably at 6-11.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ceiling probably 11-6.
Yeah.
So we'll just go kind of the old switcheroo on the wins and the losses there at Florence. Playoff team last year. I think they could, definitely could, maybe even should be a playoff team this year. But, Caleb Love or Jordan Love, Caleb Love. Jordan Love's really got to prove it.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm just not, again, need to see consistency.
Yeah.
He's not Rodgers. He's not Favre. So, we'll see what he looks like.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar with you. The Packers just seemed the quietest this offseason to me. You really didn't hear much about them, and maybe that just means they had a lot of, younger guys locked up already, but I just didn't hear or see them making much. I do think their coach, I'll give him credit. I think he's a good coach. So I'll go 7 wins for their floor, and then I'll agree with you. I think that they could play good enough to get to an 11-win season. I don't know that, like you said, I don't know that they have all the pieces. And Jordan Love to me seems more of a game manager than a game taker over winner.
Agreed.
He has had some big games, but I'm not 100% confident that he's the guy, especially watching him live last year, which we watched him together. And he had a shot to do it, and just didn't really seem like he. I don't know. To me, he just doesn't seem like he has that next level. I'm going to go out and get it. I'm going to go out and win. Seemed like he
Yeah.
relies a little bit more on his system and managing the game to get wins. So yeah, I'm going to go 7-11 on the old Packers.
Love it.
All right. Defending North champions, the Detroit Lions, who we get on Christmas Day this year. And hopefully that game is going to be a
Hopefully it
deciding
means
factor
something.
for the season. Yeah.
Yep.
So what do you got for the team that lost their or their offensive coordinator, their defensive coordinator, and I think we said 5 or 6 other coaches? Where do you got them
Yeah.
at, floor, ceiling for the Lions?
I mean, again, the talent's still there. Defense, I don't know if I've ever seen a defense riddled with more injuries than they had last year.
Brutal.
Offensively, yeah, you lose your OC, but you're bringing everyone else back,
Yeah.
like in terms of your players. Except for, I guess, offensive line is kind of the one thing that maybe, doesn't get talked about enough with the Lions.
Hmm.
They're going to be a playoff team. They're going to be vying for the NFC North. I'm going to put them at a ceiling. Let's go 14-3.
Hmm.
Floor, I'm going to probably put them at, let's go 8 wins on the
Yeah.
floor. I think they're almost, in my opinion, guaranteed to be a playoff team, but maybe injuries, something happens, obviously coordinators. So maybe they go 8-9, but I'd put
Yeah.
them more closer to that 14 range.
Yeah, you and I once again here. I think talent wise, they got it. I mean, if you watched Amon-Ra St. Brown against the Dolphins last week in their joint practice,
Man.
I mean, it looked like a high school football player playing against elementary kids. I mean,
Yeah.
he's so much faster. He's so much smarter. And maybe the Dolphins DBs are just that bad. I don't know, but it literally looked like he was in fast motion and the Dolphins were in slow motion.
For
So
sure.
so I'm right there with you. I think that the floor for the Lions this year, 8 wins. But the ceiling, I could see it easily being another 13, 14 win season for them.
Yeah.
They got a head coach that has a team that's bought in. They got guys coming back healthy. I mean, you said it. I mean, you want to talk about a team that, basically limped to the finish line. That would be the definition of the Lions last year. And they still made it to the did they make it to the conference championship
No,
or
they lost to Washington. They got the 1 seed, but again, I
that's
think
right. Yeah,
just
that's right. They lost to Washington there. So
yeah,
they still, were able to find a way to get the 1 seed, even as though they were, on crutches as they did
yep,
it with their
outscored everyone.
second and third stream guys. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I'll give them 13 or 14 wins, and I think they'll at least get 8 based on talent. So,
Yeah.
all right. Let's finish out with our boys in purple. Now, next week, Purple Dopers, we're going to break down the entire season, game by game, what we think. But for you, when it comes to our Skull boys, what do you think the floor and the ceiling is for them?
I mean, again, it really seems like everything. I don't want to say everything, but a lot is riding on JJ McCarthy.
Yes.
What you're hearing coming out of camp, it sounds like he looks the part. There's been some inconsistencies, but I think, like we've talked about on the pod in previous weeks, we're hoping that the run game,
Yeah.
especially early in the season, can help supplement, what we're asking JJ to do. I'm going to put the ceiling back at 14. I think that's, where they're at last year. Looking at the schedule, there are some that are going to be really tough games.
Yeah.
But even some of the tougher games are at home, so that gives you a little bit of an advantage there. So let's go 14 for the ceiling. The floor, I'm going to probably put them where I'm at with the Lions and go 8 games on the floor.
Man.
I think that, again, I don't want to predict injuries. That's impossible to do. But assuming everyone's healthy, there's no reason that we're not going to win 8 games. Just with the way that Flores calls his defense, with KOC calling the offense, it just doesn't seem like we're going to lose that many games. So, and again, obviously we're homers here, so I'm going to push them to be, yeah, they're going to be in the playoffs. But I do think with the assumption that JJ McCarthy, has got the goods for sure, looking to have like a season close to what we had last year.
Yeah. And you and I are 100% on this one. I think we got 8 wins is kind of our floor there. I do think we got some tough games, and if they go our way, I think we could get to 14 wins. I really believe that. If they don't go our way, I think we could fall at 8 wins. I think there's definitely some games there, especially early, we can win. I think we could come out, and if we can get some confidence with JJ, he stays healthy. I think there's no question that we couldn't be a 14-win team this season as we move in. So, cool. Well, here's the deal. We got fans probably coming from all over. So we want to hear in the comments if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, well, we appreciate you listening. Make sure you follow along with our show. But what do you think on the NFC North this coming year? And then next week, we're going to break down the entire schedule for the Vikings game by game of how we think they're going to perform each and every week. And we'll have our predictions. And then hopefully by the end of the year, we're able to look back and see how we did or didn't do when it comes to the season. So. Cool. All right. Well, if you are following along, please make sure you do follow the show, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, share it out. We got lots of different people coming from different places, so please feel free to share it out with your friends and family. And as always, Darin, we skull, you skull, we all skull together. We'll catch you guys next week.